Hello again. In these videos, we have worked to make them as short as possible. Therefore, the writing process has been left out so that you can pause whenever you want to take the notes. We don't have to wait and make the video longer. In this particular video, we are going to be looking at a new class of sequences. Now, we have done linear sequences and we have done geometric sequences. So there are another class of sequences that have to be dealt with in grade 11 and grade 12. Namely quadratic sequences. Now, when you get a sequence, if it is not told or it is not mentioned to you what kind of sequence it is, you have to first classify it. So let's see how we go about the process of realizing that now we are no longer dealing with a linear sequence and we are no longer dealing with a geometric sequence. Firstly, we're going to consider the sequence 1, 6, 17 and 34. Now, when we are given any sequence and we don't know what kind of sequence it is quite common that we first check if it's arithmetic, because it would make our life much simpler if it was so. So we do the arithmetic check, and then we check T3 minus T2, and then we will get 17 minus 6, which is 11. Then we check T2 minus T1, that gives us 6 minus 1, which is 5. Now, those two numbers are not the same. 11 does not equal 5. So therefore, it cannot be an arithmetic sequence because arithmetic sequences have a common first difference. Now we do the second check. We check if it's geometric because we've already studied geometric sequences and we know how to deal with them. So we do the geometric check. In the geometric check, we check for the common ratio. That is, the ratio of the consecutive terms should be equal. Now we take T3 and divide by T2, which is 17 over 6. That would give us about 2.83. Then we check T2 over T1. That gives us 6 over 1, and that's 6. So 2.83 does not equal 6. So this sequence does not have a common ratio. So it definitely cannot be geometric. So what kind of sequence is it, and what are its properties? We will take a look at that now. Now we are going to get the definition for quadratic sequences. Now we have already seen that the sequence 1, 6, 17 and 34 is not linear nor is it geometric. So now we are going to see how do we know if it is definitely quadratic. We are going to first consider the first differences. So we check the first differences and then we will get that we get 5, 11 and 17. Now, as expected, they are not equal because it's not arithmetic. Then we are going to go a step further and look at the second differences. Now we are going to take the differences of the first differences. So the first differences form a new sequence, and then we look at the second differences. But now we get that 11 minus 5 is 6, 17 minus 11 is also 6. So we get that they are the same. So the definition for quadratic sequences is as follows. Quadratic sequences are sequences in which the second differences are equal. So they have equal second differences. So now let's move on and find out more about the quadratic sequence.